Are you looking to write any new books anytime soon?
I have 2 children. So I have Fun Bobby. You think that little 8-year-old was gonna let me get away without writing Fun Donnie? So Fun Donnie is in the works, and those are going to be hardback books. And I don't want to give it away because I don't want anybody to take my little idea. But those will probably be coming closer towards the end of or the middle summer of 2022.
I look forward to that.
Yay.
We'll get you back on when you get them done, so you can do a little bit more on that.
Absolutely.
I'm working on them now, but I still got to get, those are going to be more picture focused because it's for a younger age group. So if you look at, these books are for middle school kids, but the words are big on purpose in here, and you see the little numbers are here. So to talk, where you see nostalgia, you see the little 17. So then there's the glossary in the back of the book to kind of describe like what each of the words mean. So the big font is on purpose. It's intended for the middle school kids. So that way, and if I put them all together, all 15 volumes, I could make a novel out of it. But I wanted to break it up so it's not so daunting because a lot of this content is kind of heavy as you're reading it. Once you really forces you to think, it's like, oh, okay, well, how would I handle that situation if I was put in that situation, if I was faced with that? So
it sounds like you broke it down so they can digest it better. And that sounds amazing to me, because taking that time and the knowledge that you have to make sure that they're getting each novel, each book means something. So you want them to take what they're getting and making sure they understand it before they move on. And you wouldn't be able to do that when you're reading something so big because you're trying to take everything.
Trying to digest everything. So the first one is called Presidential Address, Volume 1. The second volume is called Mr. Officer. The third one is called Pledge of Allegiance. And the fourth one is called The.P.L.U.G, which is the name of my business. And I didn't mean to do that either. Like that was a complete accident. But and this one is about a kid with autism. So shout out to my friend Danielle and Paul. She has a son who has autism. Him and Tyler's birthdays are 2 days apart. But I feel like they're just really misunderstood. And so I took the time to make sure I put a story in about that. And I am from Cali. And this one is my tribute to Nipsey Hussle. This is Hustle and Motivate. And so that's volume 5.
Okay. What lessons would you say that you've learned
in entrepreneurship?
Yes.
You have to be passionate about what you're doing because people are people. Now, I can elaborate on that now, but
we completely understand what the look gave it all. Like,
okay, you really have to be passionate because are you going to be willing to stay up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure that it's right? Are you going to do your own fact checking? Are you going to do your own due diligence to make sure that when you finish with your finished product, before you ship it out the door, that it has because you are a brand. And I was telling you this earlier, Will, I am a brand. And so how I present myself when I show up in public, my business, when I submit stuff out and it's got my name on it, my name is big as day, bold as lights on this stuff. You think I'm about to send this out with typos and no, I'm not. We're not rolling raggedy like that. We don't roll raggedy. So, and if it's something that you're passionate about, you're going to make sure that you put forth the effort. If it requires you losing sleep, if it requires you putting your own dollars behind it because you believe in it, you stand on it, you have to, because everybody is not the type of person that's going to clap for you until it's their turn to be clapped for. And so you have to make sure that you are prepared, no matter what the naysayers say, and that you're passionate about what you're doing before you just step your foot out there, because they'll make you want to reel it on back if you're not standing firm and confident about what you're putting out there.
I have a question.
Yes.
What has COVID, this whole pandemic, how has that affected your entrepreneurial spirit? Like, what has that made you want to do?
COVID told me I'm a boss.
Period.
Period. Okay. I have gone through a lot in COVID. And I'm okay with, I'm an open book. Like I told Will, I'm going through a divorce right now after 23 years of being with my significant other, 2 kids in. having to really become a single mother in every sense of the word, financially, emotionally, spiritually, all of that. And I was laid off. I was working at Twitter, making a nice amount of money. And I was one of the ones who was laid off. And so what you getting ready to do? You got these 2 kids and you taking care of them by yourself. Oh, sis gonna figure some stuff out. And she pulled some businesses out of my magic wand, throw it in the air, black girl magic.
Okay.
And we ain't missed a beat.
And you're not gonna miss one.
And you know who I gotta thank for that? But God. Okay. But COVID definitely showed me what I can do when if my back against the wall. Sis ain't missed a beat. Thank God.
Won't he do it?
Won't he will.
Now, on that, because we did talk a little bit earlier, what does your team look like?
What is my who?
What does your team look like?
You looking at her. I am my team. Listen, sis running 3 different businesses. Listen, got 2 kids. Listen, now I'm working and all of the 9 to 5, handling it.
As a mother, I would love to ask you, how do you balance? How do you find the balance in
I travel. So my kids is old enough. And I have a very large support system here in Atlanta. Sis, these kids need to go on somewhere with you for 5 days. I'm out. And I have to take my breaks, So when this summer, I definitely made sure that I took time for me because I'm really going through a lot. And so I took a lot of time for me, went on 3 different trips. I didn't think about them kids. Listen, I love y'all to pieces, but listen, Timesha got to get her mind right first, right? So that's normally what I do. I normally take a trip a year for sure as part of my mental health and my sanity. I make sure I got a trip booked. I'm making payments on it. Even before this all happened, I got to go on a trip somewhere. But on a day-to-day basis, my self-care looks like taking baths, going to get my nails and my feet done, which I need to be at the nail shop right now, but making sure I keep myself looking like something that makes me feel good. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you put forth a lot of effort in what you're putting out there. And so
I agree.
Also, too, how my kids are, the type of people my children are, is how I balance it all, because it's really important to me, the time and effort that I'm spending in instilling qualities into them as a mother. When I see that portrayed, when we walk outside and everybody's like, oh my goodness, your children are so well mannered. Oh, they're so, all of these different accolades about my children. It's like, if I am tired, it doesn't matter. I'm going to push through because that's important to me. Making sure that they're set up in different ways that I wasn't set up as a youth growing up. My mom died when I was 13 from a drug overdose, and my dad has never really been, an active participating parent in my life. So I've been on my own for a minute, and I have several, mother figures, and God has always put somebody in my place to shepherd me through. But for the most part, I've been making a lot of decisions on my own. Some good, some not so good, but I don't want my kids to have to go through that. So whether I'm tired, whether I'm spent for the day, I'm gonna make sure that I do what I got to do for them, because at the end of the day, I could sleep well knowing that, I've done everything that I can for them. And then when it's time to take me time, I don't feel bad,